Hello and welcome to Blue Pixie Cupcakes. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these edible 3D cake lace butterflies, and using this method will ensure your butterflies continue to hold their shape for weeks after making. To make these you will need a cake lace 3D butterfly silicone mat. I'm using Claire Bowman's mat here. You'll also need some cake lace. Again, I'm using Claire Bowman's pre-coloured cake lace. So you will need to use the pre-coloured icing rather than the original white. The pre-coloured icing dries a lot harder, and this is what we need for the butterflies to maintain their shape. And finally, you're going to need a cake lace spreading knife. So I'm going to start off by giving the cake lace a good mix, and then I'm just going to dollop a few spoonfuls onto the mat. And then using the spreading knife, I'm just going to work the icing into all the butterflies, making sure that I spread in all directions so that there's no air bubbles or gaps. And then once you've done that, we just want to scrape off all the excess icing, and you can pop that back into your icing pot. I'm now going to put that onto a baking tray and pop that in the oven for about 70 degrees Celsius for around 10 minutes. So whilst we're waiting for the butterflies to dry in the oven, I'm going to take a piece of aluminium foil and I'm going to fold that in half a few times to create a triangle. And I'm going to make about 3 or 4 of these to hold all of the butterflies. After 10 minutes, remove your butterflies from the oven. They should come away really easily from the mat, and they should be completely dry. They shouldn't be wet at all. If they're wet or they're sticking to the mat, just put them back in the oven for a few more minutes until they're fully dry. So once you've removed your butterflies from the oven, take your triangle that you made earlier and gently fold the butterflies over the top to the position you want the butterflies to dry in. So we want to just pop these back in the oven for about 20 minutes, again at 70 degrees Celsius. After 20 minutes, the butterflies should be really hard and holding their shape. They will be very brittle at this point and easily breakable, so you do need to handle them with care. If they're not brittle, then you do need to put them back in the oven for a few more minutes, as they need to be really dry to keep on holding their shape. When they cool down, they will become slightly softer and more flexible, so they won't stay as brittle as they are when they've just come out the oven. So if you make your butterflies this way, they will hold their shape for weeks, if not months. You do need to store them in a dry, cool place. So I keep mine in an airing cupboard and I put them in a foil pie tray, and then I loosely cover that with some aluminium foil. So if they do come into contact though with moisture or in a damp atmosphere, they probably will go limp and lose their shape. So keeping them dry is key to making sure that they hold their shape. If for some reason they do go limp, you can just repeat the process and put them back onto your triangle and back in the oven to dry them out and harden up again. You can attach your butterflies to fondant using a little edible glue or water, but you do need to be careful because too much will dissolve the cake lace. So I made these butterflies for this wedding cake about a month in advance, and they held their shape beautifully using the method in this tutorial. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you have, please don't forget to hit the like button. I will be aiming to post new tutorials here on my channel every week, so if you do want to see more, please do subscribe.